GTV to train fuel and gas attendants nationwide.
Churches compete for space to advertise activities of watch night service.
It's time for News Hour live on GBC24. Good evening and you're welcome. My name is Yoko Kwakutre.
I am Shirley Anane.
Incoming President Nana Akufo-Addo has pledged to justify the mandate given to him.
Now, during a visit to his residence in Accra by the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the President-elect asked the conference for guidance and prayers to enable him deliver quality leadership for the good people of Ghana.
The mission of the Catholic Bishops' Conference delegation, led by the President, Most Reverend Philip Name, was twofold. First, to congratulate him on his elevation to the highest office of the land, and second, to assure him of their support as Ghana's first gentleman. The Catholic Bishops' Conference, a key decision-making body of the Roman Catholic Church, has remained critical of social ills. The president of the conference, Most Reverend Philip Name, asked Nana Akufo-Addo to work hard to address the many issues confronting Ghanaians, including unemployment and the high cost of living.
It is also our expectation that Ghana, under your leadership, will experience more a sense of fellow feeling and a reduction, if not total elimination, of the high rate of social ills such as armed robbery, indiscipline, dishonesty, bribery, and corruption. Your Excellency, rest assured that we as a church see ourselves as partners in development with any government. We will endeavor to do all that is within our means to support you and your government to succeed in tackling the challenges confronting us, so that together we can move the nation forward in the right direction for the common good.
Nana Akufo-Addo called on the conference to stand shoulder to shoulder with him as he begins the journey to execute the tasks ahead.
I know that in the past, controversies that happened that occasioned electoral and political disputes, you have continued to be a real rock for our nation. I'm hoping that my period of stewardship of the country, I am going to continue to receive this disinterested but informed guidance and advice that you have been providing the Ghanaian nation. I'm counting on you to continue to speak your mind, and by that illuminate for me the work that I have to do.
The president-elect said his administration will tackle issues of the economy head-on, as this is a panacea for the many problems, including the poor living conditions.
I believe that we have the human material, both within and outside our party, to be able to confront and address and deal decisively with these issues. There's no reason that our country should be poor. If we have the correct policies and we have also the proper mindset, a mindset that those of us going into public life, we're coming to work for Ghana, not for ourselves. With that, I believe it will be in a very short period of time we can lift this country up. I'm a firm believer in the concept of the Black Star of Africa. I know it's a little bit problematical, but I think it catches the spirit of what Ghana should be, a beacon of Africa's future prosperity and progress. And I want all of us to pull together to work towards that goal.
Nana Akufo-Addo says constructive criticisms is welcome to keep his administration on its toes to honor its pledge to serve Ghanaians with effective leadership.
Accra recorded 48 fires between the 24th and 26th of December, the peak period of the Christmas holidays. That is according to the Ghana National Fire Service. The figure is a marked decrease from the 78 fires recorded for the same period last year. Officials of the service tell GBC24 intensive education is ongoing to ensure the public has the appropriate fire safety tips. Meanwhile, the service has closed down 2 filling stations in Accra for their failure to meet fire safety requirements.
The dry season, the Harmattan, is rife with fire outbreaks across the country. To stem the tide of these fires, the Ghana National Fire Service often runs a number of educational campaigns to give the public the needed tips to prevent fires. Also, the Ghana National Fire Service periodically conducts safety checks on premises and facilities to ensure that they comply with measures to prevent fires. At the Makola market, 3 of the 4 fire hydrants inspected were not functioning, and the water pressure of the only functioning one was too low to serve any purpose. A newly established filling station at Amasaman was closed down after a gas leakage from one of its tanks. Another filling station at Pukwasi was also closed down for flouting all fire safety measures, including not having a legal permit for siting the station. According to the Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Prince Billy Anaglati, there will be a nationwide exercise to close down any establishment which does not adhere to fire safety measures.
The Watch Night service is about 24 hours away, and churches across the country are jostling for space to mount promotional billboards advertising their activities to usher in the new year. In Kumasi as in Accra, billboards have sprung up in public places advertising crossover, jump over, skip over, fly over, pray over, fast over, drink over, party over, dance over, and all the others. We have 2 stories, first from Kumasi and then one from Accra.
Every year, churches mount billboards across the Ashanti region, especially the capital, Kumasi, as a promotional tool to attract people, particularly occasional churchgoers, to join their respective congregations in their 31st Watch Night services. However, the number of churches and billboards in the venture this year has increased substantially. Interestingly, these billboards are in various sizes: large, medium, small, different designs, inscriptions, and catchphrases. The church promoting billboards are equally promoting the founders, general overseers, or leaders of the church, more than perhaps the founder of Christianity, Jesus Christ. They are located at road intersections, roundabouts, as well as entry points to the city where there is perceived better visibility. Another noticeable feature is the varied inscriptions about the planned last church service for the year. Some read changeover, crossover, night of transition, night of divine encounter, and night of grace. Some of the messages are in the form of watches taking away 2016. It is not as if the mounting of billboards and promotional banners is without cost. It first goes through design before the final printing, all at a cost. Mr. Emmanuel Owusu-Bafo, a graphic designer and manager of a printing press, said the cost of such banners depends on factors such as color, design, size, quality, and quantity. Besides, the churches have to get a permit from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, also at another cost. The KMA Public Relations Manager, Mr. Godwin Okumanyame, explained that the cost of the permit for mounting a billboard depends on the size and location of the billboard. The billboards also indicate some special packages for would-be worshippers. These include buses to transport people to the worship venues free of charge, and an arrangement for childcare services for the mothers during the period. The leader of the Shining Grace International Church, Prophet Ojanyame, said the 31st December Watch Night church services are very important to Christians because that is when God will reveal to Ghana all that will be happening in the ensuing year.
For the past few years, many churches, especially the charismatic and Pentecostal, do not only try to beat one another in terms of billboards, but also in the hiring of auditoriums to be able to accommodate bigger crowd for 31st December watch night service. GBC24 went out and about some streets of Accra, and these were some of the billboards our cameras captured. We tried to find out from the churches how prepared they are for the 31st watch night. Pastor Justice Ofori Kwesen is the resident pastor of Maker's House Chapel at Kwabenya in Accra.
Invite the whole country to come and experience God, and He's going to lead us to the new year 2017, which we believe that God have great things. We have declared the 2017 as our year of supernatural increase. So they should come and experience that increase which is coming from God.
Reverend Jones Owusweje, who is the assistant pastor of Global Revival Ministry, explained the rationale behind the theme Reformation.
Those who don't have hope will have hope for 2017. Those who are depressed will receive some kind of reinvigoration from the power of the Holy Ghost, so that in the coming year they will see the glory of God falling on our lives.
GBC Sunrise FM in the Eastern Region, in collaboration with the Central Assemblies of God, has held its annual Widows Party in Kofodia.
GBC Sunrise FM initiated the Widows Party in 2012 with a view to putting smiles on the faces of widows, especially during Christmas when there is merrymaking all over. More than 100 widows participated in this year's event. More often than not, widows and their children are neglected by their families. This makes them bitter and depressed. The regional director of GBC Sunrise FM, Mrs. Angela Mano, encouraged the women not to feel abandoned, but rather have faith in God, who will see them through their difficult times.
This
is an annual program at Christmas and the New Year. Even though you have lost your husbands, have faith in God. The senior pastor of the Kofodia Assemblies of God Church, Reverend Alex Oferiamankwa, said widows have a responsibility to bring up their children, even if single-handedly, to become responsible adults. The widows must therefore focus on their children's future and pray at all times. Some participants took turns to advise the widows to always remember that God is the husband of widows and will meet all their needs.
Hold on to your faith when your husband dies, and God won't let you down. Put all your trust in God, and He will help you.
The women were affected. The worshippers' family band based in Kofodia provided music. GBC's Eastern Regional Director, Mrs. Angela Mano, joined the widows to dance to the glory of God.
Still live on GBC24, and you're watching news. Coming up is business. After the short break, please don't go away.
Oil prices are on track for their biggest annual percentage gain since 2009 on the back of an agreement between OPEC and non-OPEC countries to cut crude production output. U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 23 cents to $54 on Friday.
Crude oil futures rose 31 cents to $57.16. Brent futures have risen about 53% this year, while WTI futures have climbed around 46%. The 2016 gains in the oil market were the best since the 2009 rally, when Brent and WTI rose 78% and 71% respectively. In a sign that producers are adhering to an agreed production cut, Oman notified some of its term customers that it will cut term allocations by 5% in March, but did not state if the reduction in supply would continue after that. The market also shrugged off an unexpected increase in U.S. crude inventories, which rose 614,000 barrels in the week to December 23. U.S. Energy Information Administration data showed analysts had expected a decrease of 2.1 million barrels in the period.
The Ghana stock market sustained its post-election recovery for the third consecutive week as the benchmark Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index rose by 5.31% week on week to reflect a lower year-to-date loss of 16.64%. The stock market was mainly lifted by banking equities, including SCB, ADB, ABG, CAL, and GCB.
The Ghanaian stock market has been down significantly in 2016, and several stocks are now trading below their book valuations, making them attractive to value investors and bargain hunters. While the recent peaceful elections should boost foreign investor confidence in the Ghanaian market, this can only drive market recovery in 2017 if investors believe that the incoming government has the capacity to build on recent macroeconomic gains to stimulate economic activity in 2017 and beyond. The incoming government has already announced an 11-member economic management team that includes the incoming Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, former Governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Paul Akwa, and prominent investment banker Ken Ofori-Atta. On the other hand, the local currency continued to weaken in line with expectations due to strong seasonal corporate demand to settle bills and restock ahead of the new year. The cedi weakened by 0.81% week on week against a negative 1.73% in the previous week to close the week at 4.1521 Ghana cedis to reflect a year-to-date depreciation of 8.6%.
The Private Enterprise Foundation PEF is appealing to the President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo to ensure that his appointees do not turn into businessmen once they are appointed. According to the chair of PEF, Kweku Agyeman-Duah, this development leads to unfairness, lack of transparency, and inflates government contracts.
There are a number of challenges that confront the private sector in Ghana. Key among them is the high cost of doing business, high cost of credit, and unreliable power supply. However, according to the Private Enterprise Federation, the latest phenomenon of politicians turning into business operators overnight once they are appointed by government is undermining the development of the private sector. These politicians, according to PEF, are always given preferential treatment when bidding for contracts. A trend the chair of the Private Enterprise Federation, Kweku Agyeman-Duah, believes, if not kept immediately, will in the long run endanger the growth and development of the private sector. He therefore appealed to the incoming government, especially the President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo, to make sure this development does not occur under his presidency.
The recent occurrence of politicians turning into business people right after taking public office is creating an unfair and non-transparent business environment, leading to the award of contracts to those businesses at inflated price at the detriment of well-established businesses who have to borrow at a high cost to be in competition. This, in the long haul, increases government expenditure, balloons government debt, and drives inflation really high.
The president-elect Nana Akufo-Addo assured the private sector that his administration will ensure none of the government appointees indulges in business.
Neither he nor any of the people who are going to be working with me are going to be your competitors. Ours is the public sector, and you are the private sector. The former is meant to be a supporter, not a competitor of the private sector, and that is how it is going to be. I've said it, and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government. You asked for a government that spoke your language and believed in the private sector. You asked for policies that supported rather than hindered your plans. You asked for a government that listened and worked with you rather than dictated to you. You asked for a government with a team of professionals able to deliver on our promises. And you ask for transparency and accountability in government. You're getting it.
Nana Akufo-Addo also assured the Federation that they will be at the center of the industrialization agenda of the country.
The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has expressed regret about the gas explosion at La in Accra on December 22nd. The acting director of environmental assessment at the EPA, Mr. Kwabena Bedu-Yeboah, says his outfit intends to offer a mandatory training program for all fuel and gas attendants next year.
11 people have been confirmed dead in the gas explosion that occurred near the Ghana International Trade Fair Center at La in Accra. About 40 others who sustained various degrees of injury are receiving treatment at the 37 military, police, Kolebu and La General hospitals. Government has fulfilled its promise to foot the bill of the victims and has made available a sum of 200,000 Ghana cedis to the hospitals giving care to the victims. President John Mahama as well as President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo have visited the victims on admission to share in their grief. The gas explosion brought to the fore the need to enhance safety by minimizing human error factors blamable for accidents like the gas explosion. The acting director of Environmental Assessment and Audit Division at the Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. Kwabena Bedu-Yeboah, gave an insight into the elements that come into play in the issuance of a license for the operation of a fuel or gas station.
The proponent will have to now go to the National Petroleum Authority for them to visit the site. And I just want to clarify this. When it comes to location of fuel service stations and gas, EPA does not play any role in it. First of all, it is done, the National Petroleum Authority will do a site inspection and give a no objection letter to the proponent, that is the one who wants to establish the gas plant. And then the proponent will go to the town planning department of the respective district assembly for them to confirm the zoning, whether that place you can site a fuel service station or a gas station there. After they also have cleared it, then they come to us. But if you come to us without this documentation, we'll ask you to go back to ensure that you have all these clearance. When they come to us, we also visit the site. We visit the site to reconcile the information provided on the registration form with what is on the ground.
Mr. Bedu-Yeboah said that ensuring safety at gas and fuel stations is a collective responsibility of the National Petroleum Authority, the EPA and district assemblies. He added that laws and regulations for safety are in place, but enforcement is a challenge.
Sometimes these are the safety measures that are supposed to be put in place. people sometimes ignore it. If you can recollect what happened in Kumasi when they were discharging about how many 6 years ago, when they were discharging, then the engine was on and that kind of thing happened. So these are human error that can be prevented. Okay, what happened in the around Circle? We were told that somebody smoked and then, or somebody didn't cover the tank well, so it has to water entered on it. So these are little things that people should, due to negligence, can cause some of these are preventable.
Going forward, the EPA intends to train all fuel and gas station attendants on safety and give them permits to operate.
Going forward, we are not going to permit individuals. You must belong to an oil marketing company, so that part of the supervision will also be done by the mother oil marketing company, so that we have various levels of monitoring. The oil marketing company will monitor, we will also monitor. And when something happens, we can hold the oil marketing company that has also licensed you to be there responsible. And also continue to train the attendants. We also inform the public when you go, ensure that the one who is dispensing the gas has a name tag with a number, meaning that the person has gone through training and knows all the safety measures that must be put in place.
The Environmental Protection Agency is hopeful that if these steps are taken and with vigilance on the part of the attendants, it will go a long way to forestall the recurrence of the unfortunate incident that took place on the 22nd of December 2016 at La in Accra.
In a run-up to the 7th December polls, it was a common sight to see party paraphernalia draped around every available tree in town. The motive was to announce the presence of these political parties and also attract voters. Barely a week to the inaugural ceremony, President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo on the 7th of January, these party paraphernalia have been replaced with the red, gold, green and black colors that signifies national identity. Winifred Efum has come through with a story.
The national colors beckons to you when you drive through the streets of Accra, a sharp contrast to some weeks back when political parties were the center of attraction in the country. From the Kanda Highway through to the Obasanjo Highway towards the King Takitewia flyover, the stems of trees, the poles of the traffic lights, and even the pillars of the various signboards and signposts in town are now proudly showing off the beautiful colors of our national flag. Perhaps an indication that this is the time for all party colors to surrender to the national one. All these developments are in preparation of the inauguration of the President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo on the 7th of January 2017. Inasmuch as all these decorations have added some beauty to the streets, the overgrown weeds surrounding the trees have cast a slight shadow on the aesthetic picture the decorations create. GBC24 is therefore calling on the authorities in charge to also give a facelift to the surroundings to ensure that visitors to the Nana Akufo-Addo's investiture will leave Accra with lasting impressions. Winifred Efum, GBC24, Accra.
On the interbank market, the pound is selling at 5 cedis, the US dollar is at 4 cedis, 18 pesos, and the euro is also trading at 4 cedis, 38 pesos.
Moving on to the commodities market, light crude is trading at $53.97 per barrel and cocoa at $2,145 per ton. Gold is going for $1,159.30 an ounce. And that's all we have in business. Coming up is the health segment.
Despite the health implications associated with the use of second-hand undergarments, patrons, especially women, continue to buy these items. But a medical practitioner at the Tema General Hospital, Dr. Brefo Safuyao, told GBC24 second-hand underwear can cause infertility and other diseases.
Years ago, the Ghana Standards Authority placed a ban on the importation of second-hand undergarments due to health implications on its users. Yet, such underwear are still sold on the open market and are highly patronized. GBC24 was at the Kantamanto Market, a known destination for second-hand clothing and other accessories for more than 3 decades. There are eager customers for used underwear, and a used brazier costs 10 Ghana cedis. Those known as store rejects or first selection are sold for between 20 and 30 Ghana cedis. This depends on the size. Traders in used panties say their prices range from 4 to 5 Ghana cedis. They say these second-hand undergarments are not only affordable but also durable. Some dealers explained why customers prefer the used underwear, otherwise known as false.
The false brazier is very good than the store one, because the store ones, when you wear it, it will climb you, whereby the false one, when you wear it, it will go down. So it's better than the store one.
False brazier, a very quality. Utwa, umoka, ubebosa, dewa utochene. Intimimi say to me, the false brazier, the say stop brazier. Uta usika no 120 de bia e wo homma
panties ni brazier ni de omoto pa omoto force no e chain store dem brazier no eno ye papa force one dey papa chain storage it.
According to the dealers, they advise customers to wash the underwear with detergents and warm water before wearing them. However, health experts warn that regular washing does not get rid of the bacteria, which is often harmful to users. Some traders say, due to the health implications, some people prefer brand new underwear to the used ones. Some traders, though, are quite knowledgeable about the health hazards associated with used underwear.
Because of pharmacy, you real or force the DNA, no eco brand 19 ni bibia nti eco
me ko me ye ka me ba me simononi awo down ni no ye ani bia na school girls ke ni amele aka side effect ye me wo ame so when e ko he oba nyo wo no foko ye she force no jo for ye kan nula ke ni da no ba nyo wo
those so she shed that if you will now say did now this so we pant our share.
According to the public relations manager of the Ghana Standards Authority, Mr. Kofi Amponsa Bediako, the influx of these second-hand undergarments on our markets can be attributed to the country's porous borders.
These items were banned for health reasons, so inclusive in them are underwears. If these items are used by people elsewhere and you also use them, they can be a medium of transmission of diseases. Our borders cannot be said to be very protected in the sense that we cannot say that things are so tight that you cannot smuggle anything through there. Once we are all serving the country, we need to rigidly collaborate with each other and make sure that we enforce the law to the letter so that the health and safety needs of the people of this country can be met.
Health experts say sexually transmitted diseases are not only acquired through sex with an infected person, but also through sharing of underwear. Infectious diseases such as vaginal candidiasis, chickenpox, gonorrhea, syphilis, hepatitis A, B, C can be linked to the use of second-hand underwear. A medical practitioner at the Tema General Hospital, Dr. Brefo Safuyao, cautioned users.
So many health implications. The first thing is infections. So being underpants, which is a bit common in our system. For the ladies, they tend to have a lot of vaginal infections. They have offensive vaginal discharge, which can progress into what we call pelvic inflammatory disease. So this more like infection around the uterus, and so it has a lot of implications on them. It can even go as far as affect your fertility as well with the pelvic inflammatory disease. We also have fungal infections, which gives you some rashes. You itch a lot, either within your anus or around your public part. All these ones are the infections type.
Dr. Safo also cautioned against wearing dirty underwear.
Personal hygiene is key. We prefer use of first-line clothing, if not possible, or if you have a financial challenge, then personal hygiene becomes key. If you are using it, you need to wash it frequently and change it frequently as well. So the moment you notice, add a day or two. Some people even change it twice a day. Morning they change it, they will not use it in the evening, where it's a different one. That's very good.
Experts say those who wear second-hand underwear end up spending more money to cure diseases associated with its use. They urge all to invest in some good cotton undergarments and keep.
The international news is next.
Hello, good evening, and an update from the world of sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. GTV and GTV Sports Plus are the only TV stations that have the right to telecast the AFCON matches live in Ghana. GBC Radio and its affiliates are also the only radio stations in Ghana with the right to go live commentary of the matches. This was disclosed during the launch of the broadcast right for the tournament. We'll bring you that later. Let's talk boxing now, where the new IBO junior featherweight champion, Ghana's Isaac Royal Storm Dugbe, is back home from New Zealand after knocking out Argentine star Julian Everasto Aristoli in a title fight. Team Dugbe says their next target is Cesar Suarez, currently ranked #1 by the International Boxing Organization.
The boxer received a hero's welcome at the Kotoka International Airport. He said thank you to Ghanaians for the support.
I can only give glory to God, because it is Him that has made this possible. And and also thank the entire Ghanaian public for their prayers. When things get tough, then you know that there's a God that can that can use an egg to break a stone. So look, it's been a great experience. So 2016 has been a great year. Great is not even a word to describe it, but it's been a great year, and we're looking forward to 2017. That's the year that we pushing the puzzles together, by God's grace. So we're looking forward to it.
His dad, Paul Dugbe, who is also his coach, says their next target is a crack at the world title.
Aristoli is a seasoned fighter. He's a seasoned veteran. He's a very hard boxer. He's a southpaw, an awkward boxer. Very strong. And they rate him, I think, number 8 or 7 in the WBO, in the junior featherweight. So you can't say Aristoli is soft. He's never soft. But because he hasn't fought anybody like Isaac, that is why he got knocked out. I think we now set for the world title, the junior featherweight. That is the super bantamweight division. Isaac was running the featherweight division till the WBO called us and said, listen, there's a vacant title in the junior featherweight. Are we interested? And we said, why not? We went down weight and we knocked our opponent out. See, we proved to the world that the kid is strong in the junior featherweight and in the featherweight. So now he's now rated number 5 in the junior featherweight division. He can fight for the world title in his next fight. But I'm holding him back again to make sure he's strong in the junior featherweight, because 4 years now he's been fighting featherweight. So now we've moved down weight. We have to make sure he's strong at that weight. Fine, he went to knock Aristoli out. but we have to assess his next fight and see how it's going to come out. If it comes out good, then we give him the world title shot.
The 22-year-old has improved his undefeated career record to 16 wins and no defeat, 10 by way of knockouts.
The 7th Mini Ghana University Sports Association GUSA Games will come off at the University of Cape Coast from the 3rd to the 13th of January 2017. The chairman of the Sports and Research Committee at UCC, Dr. Charles Domfe, says the competition will select a team to represent Ghana at the World University Games slated for China later in the year.
The University of Cape Coast UCC is hosting the 7th Mini Ghana University Sports Association GUSA Games. At the competition, which is organized every 2 years, athletes from the 8 public universities will compete for honors in disciplines including basketball, football, goalball, netball, table tennis, lawn tennis, and athletics. In an interaction with some officials from the UCC, they expressed their readiness to host the competition. The chairman of the Sports and Research Committee at UCC, Dr. Charles Domfe, touched on the importance of the games.
The mini GUSA is normally held in order to select a team for the World University Games. So the GUSA looks at areas where the universities look strong and then pick some of those games so that all the 8 public universities will meet, participate in, and then we select a team for the nation. So once we're going for World University Games, it's no more institutional based, but it's rather national teams.
On the spot, the head of sports section at UCC, Dr. Daniela Park, highlighted the need for an all-hands-on-deck approach.
The World University Games is second to the Olympics in terms of you see, it is the base for the Olympic Games. We go there and we meet athletes who after 1-2 years are winning Olympic medals. And so the competition there is very, but it is the highest when it comes to youth sports. Let's put it that way. And so our projection is that we'll move. Sometime we were just having a backroom discussion with our friend from your outfits. Yes. That some time ago we used to go there. First round athletics, we are out. By the last edition, some of our athletes got to semi-finals. They moved our sprinters, and let me add, BT's German and Co. Just they represented us in the last edition, and they got far.
More than 700 athletes from all the public universities in the country, namely UCC, University of Ghana, KNUST, the University of Education Winneba, UDS, University of Mines and Technology UMAT, UPS Accra, and the University of Energy and Natural Resources UNE are taking part in the event.
That's all for sports.
Now to some entertainment news. It is the dream of many up-and-coming musicians in the country to be featured on one of America's leading entertainment television networks, MTV Base. Artists from South Africa and Nigeria are leading the pack of musicians whose videos are played on MTV Base. Now, Ghanaian musicians are also enjoying airtime on MTV Base, with Sarkodie being one of the dominant acts on the screens. The weather report is next.
That's it for the weather update for tonight. Good evening. Have a good weekend.
And before we go, look once again at the headlines. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has expressed regrets about the gas explosion at La in Accra on December 22nd. The acting director of Environmental Assessment at the EPA, Mr. Kwabna Bedu-Yeboah, says his outfit intends to offer a mandatory training program for all fuel and gas attendants in 2017.
The Watch Night service is about 24 hours away, and churches across the country are jostling for space to mount promotional billboards advertising their activities to usher in the new year. Billboards have sprung up in public places in many of the capital cities advertising.
That's all we have by way of news for now. Thank you so much for watching.
News tonight is at 10:30. Please make a day to us.
Good evening.